Hi, Roy here on Roy Reads Anything, my channel about old books that are strange or interesting or just weird. And this short piece will be reading. I'm going to read a short passage from the Paul Jennings Reader. So, a subscriber requested I read you all a story. So that's what I'm going to do. So this guy, Paul Jennings, not the children's writer who's still working now, a much earlier writer whose stuff appeared in 50s, 60s, 70s maybe, um, a great comic writer whose stuff is whimsical and poetic and as well as being funny. Much admired by Terry Pratchett amongst others. So, I'm going to read you a short piece called The Art of Megalomania by Paul Jennings. Until recently, my favourite world's biggest thing was the organ in the Municipal Auditorium, Atlantic City. It has 7 manuals and 33,000 pipes, and either I read or dreamt I read that there is a caretaker's flat inside it. Anyway, for years I've had pleasant fantasies about this caretaker's unique life. I would imagine him striking up a casual friendship in a bar and inviting his friend home. The latter would not, of course, know he was inside an organ, and they would be chatting quietly when suddenly the room would begin to shake with sound. Vases and plates would dance and clatter. Pieces of plaster would fall from the ceiling. As the fugue came to the heroic stretto, things would get worse. Paint would blister, water would seethe in the bath. Nay, mirrors would melt, fried with the hellish roaring of tubers. Whole suites of furniture would dance about. The visitor would fall down senseless, while the caretaker and his wife unconcernedly chatted. If you're going to have the world's biggest anything, one might think that is the way to do it. Let there be panache. All our records in England seem to be of the kind one learns about from quizzes in unsensational magazines. Where is the world's longest tunnel? They ask. Immediately one conjures up a vasty scene of mountains, tourists photographing their wives against a grandiose concrete entrance, the emergence after hours underground into a new country, new soldiers, new money showing new solemn girls in helmets. But no, the answer, upside down on page 93, is the Morden Edgware line. What weekly magazine has the world's largest circulation? Once again, we imagine one of those deadpan American international affairs with letters in correspondence column for Tiflis, Big Neck, and Bexhill-on-Sea, until page 93 informs us that it is our own comfortable timetable, the Radio Times. There can, however, be art in megalomania, and there is a certain civic elegance in these British records, an attempt to fuse the trivialities of everyday life with technological triumph, the great with the small. Indeed, I used to think we had taken the initiative in this new subtle megalo-micromania, as it were, with the musical poster I saw announcing the smallest and mightiest organ in the world. What could this be? Some sort of terrible mouth organ that would make cities crumble? Alas, one has to admit that this is simply a wild claim, not a description of any possible organ. And anyway, the championship has now gone to America again, as far as I can see, forever, with this announcement from a recent evening paper. New York, Wednesday. A giant paper bag, 14 feet long, has been perfected here. It is claimed to be the largest paper container in the world. This is the real thing. This bag, with its monstrous serrations, undoubtedly exists. It has been perfected after years of effort in which lesser bags, say 10 feet long, have failed miserably. Quite light objects, such as 9-foot meringues, when placed in them have caused immediate collapse, but the technicians, undaunted, have worked on. As the workmen began to shovel the cream into wheelbarrows off the floor of the bag testing shed, we imagine the chief designer murmuring, "Yet it should be all right, we double-checked the seam alignment." and eventually this 14-foot bag was produced, capable of holding not only giant meringues, but giant tomatoes, giant caramels, 6 tons of sugar, anything. And who ordered it? There are reasonable explanations, such as that some hotel wanted one big bag for its bag wash instead of a lot of little ones, or that someone wished to get cheap freight rates by registering as one paper bag and contents, a consignment of 2,000 alarm clocks. But inevitably, as with all the world's biggest things, the man-scaled mind drifts off into fantasy again. This bag is for some burly millionaire who plans to burst it with hydraulic rams at a monster party. Or can it be that up in the unimaginable hills there is a noise as of thunder, and presently the skies are darkened, a great shadow leans up over the street of little shops. Here, terrible as an army, is the largest housewife in the world, or at any rate someone quite different from the people on the Morden Edgware line.